What's up, y'all? It's Shaved Lizard back with another video. Today reviewing the Baylor Bears 2022 football schedule. We have their schedule down here and whether or not it is home or away. The home teams don't have an @ in front of it, their logo. I'm going to be ranking the teams, put them on a tier list, or for like the difficulty of the opponent. And then I will be ranking their scheduled difficulty from like A, B, C, so on and so forth. And then I will give you my personal opinion about what their projected record might look like. Also, this is all a personal opinion. I'm not a fan of any Big 12 teams. I don't really like the Big 12, so that might play into my rankings a little bit. There might be some bias in there. There hopefully won't be any. I try to be as unbiased as I can. Getting started, Baylor starts their season by playing Albany. Honestly, Albany's an FCS team. I think Baylor, it's just too easy. Too easy. They're just gonna pummel them. In the last video, I did BYU's schedule, and they happen to be on Baylor's schedule as well. So here we have BYU. I think this will probably be a challenging game for Baylor. BYU is not a bad program at all, and it is in Provo. So that being in Provo will play a part in this as well. Next up, we've got Texas State, Sunbelt team. Too easy, I think. But Baylor will just roll right over them. Fourth, we have Iowa State at Iowa State. I think this will probably be a challenging game for them. Iowa State was not a bad team last year, I don't think. Still, it is at Iowa State, so it could be challenging. Next up, we have the Oklahoma State Cowboys. These two teams, Baylor and Oklahoma State, played in the Big 12 championship game last year, and I think Baylor and Oklahoma State are going to be in the top 3 teams in the Big 12, so this should be a pretty hard game for Baylor, and it would be a pretty difficult game for Oklahoma State as well. Two pretty decent teams, and last year they competed for the championship. Next up, we've got West Virginia at West Virginia. West Virginia's not very good. I think this should be a win for Baylor relatively easily, even though it's at West Virginia. They're just not a very good team. Next up, we also have Kansas. Kansas is going to go in that easy category as well. Of course, Kansas did beat Texas last year. I think that was mostly luck. They're Kansas. I think that's really all you need to hear. It's Kansas. Next up, we have Texas Tech in Lubbock. This is an interesting one. I'm gonna say Texas Tech will be challenging. Texas Tech, I don't think, was very competitive, at least in the games that I watched. They weren't very competitive. I will still put them in the challenging category, though, because in Lubbock, and things could happen. Next up, we have OU, potentially the best team in the conference, always, but last year they weren't. I'm going to put this in the pretty hard category as well. Both the Oklahoma teams, and it's at Oklahoma, at OU. I think that might be one that Baylor loses. Next up, we've got K-State at home. I think Kansas State will probably not be a big threat, but I think they're at about the same difficulty as these other teams in the challenging category. Next up, we have TCU. TCU was able to come up with the upset last year. That was a great game. I was keeping up with that one. TCU will probably go in the challenging category as well as these other teams. It is a home game for Baylor, though. Yeah, it's a home game. I'm going to probably put them in the easy category. Of course, TCU could come up with an upset 2 years in a row. That would be cool. I don't really see that happening, though. Finally, we have Texas in Austin, and I'm just going to put this game in the too easy category. it's Texas. You know, they're just garbage, dog water, just absolutely terrible. In all seriousness, though, I will probably put them in the easy category. Texas will have Quinn Ewers, but they don't have anyone around Quinn Ewers, whatever the quarterback's name is, Quinn something. They don't have anyone around him, so the easy category, obviously. That pretty much sums it up for where I would put that. That does sum it up for where I would put the teams in terms of difficulty for Baylor, the Bears. Moving on to my schedule difficulty ranking, I'm going to give Baylor a B-. That doesn't sound very good, but Baylor does play in the Big 12. The Big 12 is not that good. Let's be honest, y'all. The Big 12 is just an overrated Group of 5 team. So, yeah, B- for Baylor. They play Oklahoma and Oklahoma State, but those still aren't great teams. OSU was good last year. I think they lost a lot of their good defensive players, if I'm right, and their defensive coordinator, and that's why they were as good as they were. Finally, to wrap up this video, what I think their projected record is going to be. I'm going to say that Baylor goes at 10-2. I think they'll win versus Albany and Texas State. Probably all these easy teams. And I'm going to guess that they might drop one to one of these challenging teams. And they'll probably lose to one of the Oklahoma teams. One of those is OU. But also Oklahoma State. Those are two, actual teams. And I think Baylor will probably lose one of those two games in the pretty hard category. Anyway, that is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Go check out my other 2022 schedule review videos. If you like this one, leave a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. Please, it helps out a lot. Go check out my other series on the channel. I have one where I'm doing 96 teams, put them in a tournament bracket. It's like March Madness, but it's bigger, cooler, better, and it's college football. I also have a series with the ULM Warhawks from the Sun Belt Conference. I'm trying to take them to a national championship and win it. But yeah, that's it. 10-2 for Baylor. Schedule difficulties at B-. They play some okay teams. Haha, that's funny, because Oklahoma. Haha. But they also play a lot of not great teams. That's it. Until the next one, peace.